And let's get set up. All right. Wonderful. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your Tuesday morning, 8:15 Vinyasa Flow class. I'm Tom. I'm here to guide you through your practice this morning. I'd like to welcome you all here at Ruth Hardy Park, as well as everybody on Zoom on behalf of Urban Yoga here in wonderful, beautiful Palm Springs. As always, please make sure you visit that website, urbanyoga.org, for all the latest updates on our class schedules, access to every class we do via YouTube. And as always, please make sure you visit that virtual tip jar to keep this wonderful yoga community going strong. Okay, so we had that big, bright, beautiful full moon over the weekend, late Saturday into early Sunday. And so I thought we'd just kind of do a class, staying connected to that lunar energy. Great for just reflection and drawing on that calm, cooling, meditative energy. And so we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to do Chandra Namaskar, which is moon salutation. So a lot of times in vinyasa classes, we work front to back on the mat. We go up and down, which is really based around sun salutations, Surya Namaskar. And so moon salutations are a little different. You go a little bit more side to side, a lot more opening, and a lot more circular energy. And so it's still moving and still flowing, but again, just tapping into a little bit of a different calming yin energy as opposed to yang energy, which is building heat. So we'll still be moving around today, but this is just a nice, smooth, meditative flow. Okay, so we're gonna actually start on our backs. So go ahead and come down to your back, and I'll sort of be on my back, but then pop back up so you guys can hear me clearly. So just take it on down to your back, and then just let the knees fall together. You can bring the feet out a little bit more wider to the edges of the mat, and just let those knees fall together. That'll just help to start to release that low back. And just kind of wiggle those hips back and forth, maybe the shoulders. You can sort of lift up your head and make your neck nice and long, and then gently place it back down. Just starting to sort of open up that throat. And as always, we just begin with cultivating that breath connection. So just begin to draw the breath in through the nostrils. Notice that cooling sensation of the inhale as you begin to lengthen that inhalation. Filling up the sides of the ribs. Drawing that breath into the spaces we don't normally draw it into. And then just begin to exhale out through the nostrils, letting everything sort of sink into the mat. Feeling that grounding, that support of the earth underneath the body. And just begin to continue with the rhythm of your breath, drawing in to the sides of the ribs, back of the body. Feel the chest expand and rise. Breathe into the heart space. And then lengthening, long exhalation, feeling everything sink down and relax into the mat. Continue with the rhythm of your breath here, just inviting that calming, cooling energy into the body. If your eyes are closed, you can just sort of picture that full, luminous full moon in the mind's eye, drawing upon that meditative, calm energy, the feminine side, the yin. Just aiming to here to quiet the mind a bit. If thoughts are coming up, just return to that breath. Just let them sort of float in and out. And as you continue to make that connection with your breath, just taking a moment here to set an intention to just let everything else in the outside world weight off the mat. This is your time for self-care, for self-reflection, for self-compassion. Continue with that breath throughout your practice. Let it be your guide. Your breath will let you know if you need to rest. If you want to push yourself a little bit more, it'll be there to help balance you. Just let it guide you. If thoughts begin to drift in and out, returning to that breath as a center of focus. Just take a few last moments here in this restful position. tuning into the breath, feeling the rise and fall, what's reaching, what's rooting in the body. Just noticing the sensations of the present moment, temperature on your skin, sensations of your body, any areas of tightness or tension. Sounds in the room could just be quietness and hearing your breath. Sounds out here in the park. Just fully immersing ourselves in the moment. And if the eyes are closed, gently begin to blink the eyes open. Begin to draw the heels in towards each other. We're just going to take some big circles with the knees here. So just let the knees open up wide, bring the heels sort of together, and then just begin to stir the knees in a circle. So drawing the knees in towards the chest, squeezing in, drawing the tailbone down, then letting the knees open up wide, big circle, and then just continue with that motion. Inhaling as you draw them into the center of the chest. Opening up, exhaling as you draw them closer together. And again, picture that big, beautiful full moon, the circular motion here. And then take a moment as you squeeze the knees in, and we'll go the other direction. So letting the knees open up, drawing them up towards the armpits, and then closing them back together. Begin to wake up the belly. Work with the breath. And then we'll go ahead and extend the legs nice and long. And we're going to go ahead and take the left heel over to the left corner of the mat and cross the right heel over the top of that. And then we're going to reach the arms up overhead, and then we're going to grab the right wrist with the left arm and just sort of pull it on over to that left side. So we're going to be sort of in a C shape. So your feet and the direction that you're pulling that wrist should be in the same direction, kind of like a banana or a crescent moon. And then deep breath into the right side of the rib cage, feeling that expansion through the side body. As you exhale, pull that wrist on over just a little bit more, getting a deeper stretch. Inhale, fill up one more time. Expand, reach, exhale, let it go. Go ahead and bring the heels back to center, the arms back to center, and we'll take that to the other side. So right heel across to the corner of the mat, cross that left heel on over, reach the arms up overhead, and then we'll reach for that left wrist and then gently just pull it up and over as you breathe into that left side of the rib cage. Deep, full breaths here. Deep, full exhalations here. And then just notice, what can you root with in the body? What can you reach with in the body? And where is that breath uniting those two opposing forces? Deep breath in through the nose, fill up. Big exhale, stretch a little deeper. And we'll go ahead and release. We'll draw the knees back into the chest, draw that tailbone down, squeeze those thighs in towards the ribs. Take a big inhale. Exhale, send the heels up to the sky. You can reach for the back of the thighs and just begin to stretch out the legs, stretching through the calves, hamstrings. Flex the feet. So draw your toes down towards the ground. And then just go ahead and flex and point the ankles here. Just waking up the tops of the feet. And then go ahead and bend the knees, let the knees go wide. We'll take a happy baby here. So just getting warmed up. Open up those hip creases nice and wide. Go ahead and reach for the outer edges of those feet. And then draw that tailbone down to the ground. Nice firm foundation. You can feel that sacrum and low back sort of connect. And then draw those knees towards the armpits as you open up. Take a deep breath in. Breathe into the hips. Gentle rock side to side as you massage that low back. And close the eyes here again, picturing that bright, beautiful full moon. Calming, cooling, meditative energy. Offering that illumination and reflection within. And then go ahead, bring the heels together and just open up through the hips a little bit more as you draw the heels in towards the pelvis. So Supta Baddha Konasana, opening up through those hips a little deeper. You can grab for the outer edges right below the knees and just open up a little bit more. Open up through the heart space here. Look up to the heavens, take a deep breath in. Open the throat. Big exhale, let's let all that go. Go ahead and reach for the outer edges of the knees and just close those knees up together. And options here, if you want to rock yourself up to a comfortable seat, rock back and forth along the spine here. Or just go ahead and slide yourself over and make your way up to a comfortable seat. Hi, good morning. All right, wonderful. Get yourself set up here in Sukhasana, easy seated pose. You can sit up on the edge of a blanket here to give a little tilt in that pelvis. And again, we'll just begin in that circular motion, like I said, Chandra Namaskar. So big circular motions, really opening the heart this morning. So let's inhale those arms up overhead. Lift up, look up, open up the heart space as you squeeze those shoulder blades together. Open the throat and broaden through the chest. Big sip of air. Exhale, go ahead and round through the spine. Bring the palms together, sit back in the seat. So spread the shoulder blades apart. And we'll just work through the breath here. Inhaling up, open the throat. Exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together, open up the heart. Lift up, look up. A little side to side. Big sip of air, fill up. Exhale, round the spine, sit back in the pelvis. Hollow out the belly. Move with your breath. Inhale up. Exhale, elbows down. Lift up, look up. Big sip of air. Exhale, round. Scoop out the belly. This time we're going to inhale it all the way up. Exhale, we'll reach that left palm out and walk it out. And then take that stretch up and over, breathing into the right side of the rib cage. Root down through that right hip crease. Firm foundation here. And open up through the chest. You can look up under that elbow on the right side. You can pulse a little bit here. Let's take a deep inhale here. As we exhale, we're going to rotate and reach out. So we're going to try to line that sternum up a little bit more over that leg and then just fold into whatever degree is comfortable for you this morning. Breathe into the back side of the body here. Let it all go. Inhale, draw that arm back behind you, open up through the chest. Just a gentle twist back behind you. Big sip of air. Exhale, we're going to take it down one more time. And then we're just going to walk the hands around in that circular motion. Inhale that other arm up and take that side body stretch on the other side. Down through that left hip crease, firm and foundational. Always an element of rooting and reaching in our practice, and that breath connecting those two forces. Breathe into the side of the body, big sip of air in. As we exhale, reach out and over, sternum lines up over that leg, and just walk those fingertips out. Deep breath into the kidneys. Exhale, sink in. Inhale, draw the arm back behind you, open up through the heart space, maybe some circles with that wrist. Let the gaze follow. Big inhale here. Exhale, let's take it down one more time. And then walk the hands back around. Inhale that left or right side up one more time. Exhale it down, circle back around. So we're just moving in this circular flow, moving with the breath. Inhale here. Exhale. Just let the arms float out and up. Let's do that one more time. Side body stretch. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Let the arms follow around. Up and over. Inhale the arms back up. Reach up, look up. Draw the palms into heart center. Place the thumbs against the sternum of the chest. Broaden through those clavicles. Root down through that tail as you lift up through that crown. Maybe close the eyes here and just pause for a moment. Just notice how the body's feeling. Really focus today as we go through this moon salutation on the spaces in between the poses, moving in a fluid, water-like quality, tapping into that feminine energy of the moon. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, let it go. And we're just gonna make our way up to standing. So just go ahead and roll over the knees here. Bring yourself up, move your blanket out of the way. If you'd like to use some blocks in your practice today, I suggest having one on each side because we're gonna work in that moon salutation side to side, and that way they'll be there as we need them. So we're gonna go ahead and start for everybody out here on the right side of the mat. I'll be on the left, and I'll kind of mirror you guys as best I can. And so again, we're just gonna work a little more side to side. Big open circular motions as opposed to that up and down and building heat. All right, so we'll begin here in mountain pose. Let's just begin to get ourselves set up and centered. Just look down at your toes and go ahead and lift all 10 toes. Place the pinky toes down and then spread out consciously all 10 toes so they root down into the earth. Kind of wiggle back and forth. You can lift up the heels and then set them back down. Close the eyes here, and then just go ahead and shoot those fingertips out towards the ground. Roll the shoulders up and back and down. And we'll just begin to engage here, sort of from the ground up. So begin to draw energy up through the feet and heels. Begin to engage the kneecaps as you draw them up and in slightly. Work that energy up through the legs into the belly and the pelvis. So draw that pelvic floor up slightly. And then draw those outside ribs down and in as they sort of plug into your hip points, just really connecting that core as a whole. Working our way up here, broaden through the clavicles, let that heart shine forward. Push the hips forward slightly as you tuck the tail. Taking that energy all the way up into the crown of the head as it lifts up towards the sky. Let's just take a deep breath here in our mountain pose, feeling firm and grounded. As we begin our moon salutation, Chandra Namaskar. Let's inhale, arms reach out with those fingertips nice and wide. Bring the palms together and just take a gentle back bend as you push the hips forward. Urdhva Hastasana. Big inhale. Exhale, draw the palms into heart center. We're gonna take a big step, open up. So this is gonna be a big full moon. So roll those shoulders open here, push the hips forward. Your toes can be slightly pointed in just to give you a little bit more firm foundation here. Open up through the throat and the heart. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to bring palms into heart center and then turn those heels in, taking it into goddess pose. Begin to sink down here. Take a moment here, lengthen through those tops of the thighs. Sink your tailbone down as you lift up through that crown. So we don't want to be rounded forward. We want to be open in the front of the body as much as possible. Options here with the hands that can be along the thighs here, feeling firm and stable. You can bring palms into heart center. And we're just going to stay a little bit longer in these poses today. So a couple rounds of breaths here. You can close the eyes. Deep inhale in through the nose. Lifting up a little bit. Exhale, sink in a little deeper. Keeping that connection with the breath throughout our practice. Inviting cool, calm, meditative energy in. Let's inhale up. We're going to straighten the legs. We're going to go ahead and turn the toes out and turn the other heel perpendicular to the mat. We're going to reach forward. We're going to take it into triangle pose. So go ahead and dip that front hip, lift the other one out, reach it forward. If you need your block, it's available. And we really want to open up through the chest here. So make sure we're not rounding that top shoulder down. Open up through the chest as much as possible. You can bring that hand up around the waist towards the sacrum and use that for a little bit more leverage. We'll be here for about 3 cycles of breath. So take your time, use those props. Deep breath in, fill up the sides of the ribs. Draw that breath into the spaces we don't normally do. It's kind of giving your body a massage from the inside out. Massaging those internal organs. Draw it into the heart space. Soften the throat. Notice where you're tense and see if you can soften a little bit more. Stay for one more breath. We'll go ahead and look down at that foot and then just bend that knee. We're going to take it into extended side angle. So you can bring that elbow to that knee. You can have that hand down on a block. We want that knee lined up right over that ankle. And then we'll open up here again through the chest. If you have a hard time and that arm kind of gets caught on that back of the or front of the shoulder, take the arm in front of you first. Give you a little bit more space as you send it up and over. Press down through the back of that foot, the side of that foot. That's your anchor and your big toe on the front. And make sure you're not sinking into that front shoulder. So some nice space here in between that neckline and the shoulder. Big breath in. Big breath out. All right, let's go ahead and look down at that knee. We're just going to rotate down into a low lunge here. So drop that back knee. Untuck those back toes and build our foundation from the floor up. You can have that block available. So squeeze those thighs together, draw that energy up through the pelvis, push down through the back, top of the back foot as your anchor. And then if you want, send those arms up. So draw down through the tail, up through the crown. Big inhalation. Exhale, draw the elbows together. Gentle back bend here. If that's a little too much, a little too intense, you can just come back here to the knee. We're just going to be here for a few more breath cycles. Doing whatever feels good for you this morning. If you want a little bit more of a back bend, if you want to work a little bit more on that psoas muscle and stretching through the hips, explore what you need this morning. Exhale, let's go ahead and take it down. We'll straighten that front leg. You can tuck the back toes for a little bit more stability here. We're just getting a nice hamstring stretch here. So sink the hips back towards the heel. And then keep that front foot active by drawing those toes back towards that knee, flexing that foot. Reaching forward with the crown of the head and then sinking in to create space. Looks good. All right. Let's stay for one more breath here. Take our time, walk it back forward. We'll pop that back knee up and we'll turn back towards the center of the mat here. Let's inhale, halfway lift. So you can have that block in front of you if you need a little extra help. So reach forward with the crown of the head. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, just let that head go heavy. You can bring it down to a block. You can come down to your forearms. Let that tailbone come up to the sky and let that head just be heavy and hang here. Just getting a little inversion. Great for the central nervous system. If your eyes are closed, you can picture that big, beautiful, luminous full moon, offering that source of reflection, of light, the feminine yin energy. All right, we'll go ahead and bring ourselves back up. And we'll just go ahead and turn to the other side, and we're gonna work through that same flow in reverse. So we're gonna drop down to our low lunge, second side. Have that block wherever you need to. Set that strong foundation. So our anchors are our back foot, top of the back foot, and that front big toe. Draw that energy up through the legs, down through the tail, up through the crown as you reach up and out. If the arms are up, take a big inhale here. Exhale, cactus the arms, squeeze those shoulders. Open up the heart. Take a gentle back bend. Stay for one more breath. Exhale, brings you all the way down. Tuck that back toe. We'll straighten out that front leg. Take that hamstring stretch, second side. Keep those toes popped up. Drawing those toes back towards that kneecap. Lengthen through the crown and fold it. Take your time, begin to gently unwind here. So we're gonna go ahead and pop that back foot up and then rotate, drop that heel down so that heel's now perpendicular. And we're gonna work our way up into that extended side angle pose. So place that block where you need to, bring that ground up towards you. And then again, we wanna open up the front of the body. So take that shoulder back behind you, open it up. Take a look at that front knee. It might want to sort of pop out to the side, so you want to draw that knee in towards the center. Now, one long line of energy from that pinky toe all the way up to those fingertips. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Check in with that belly. If it's just kind of hanging out, just draw the belly button in towards the back of the spine a little bit. Kind of play around with that energy, just drawing a little bit of energy up through the pelvic floor. So squeezing the thighs together slightly. Let's take one more breath here. Let that go. And just move slowly and with intention. Use your core strength to bring you up. We'll straighten that front knee, reach it forward, take it into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Nice and strong in that front leg, getting a nice hamstring stretch here. Keep open in the front of the body. Try not to dip that front shoulder too much. Take your time. Enjoy the moment. Let's take one more big breath in. Exhale, let it go. You can bend that leg. And we'll just walk it back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sink all the way down. Big breath into the back side. Let it go. Begin to bring ourselves up. We'll turn our toes outward and the heels back in. We're taking it back to that goddess pose. So roll those shoulders open. Sink down here, a little side to side. Maybe you want to do something a little different than you did on the first round. Let's take maybe some shoulder dips here. Just starting to feel pretty warmed up. A little bit more open. Just play around. All right, let's inhale up, straighten those legs. Back to that big full moon, push those hips forward, fingertips wide, open the throat. Deep breath in. Exhale, palms back together. We're gonna root into that left leg. We're gonna take a big step on over to the side. Inhale it back up. Push those hips forward. Exhale, palms to heart center. Back to our mountain pose. Take a moment here, pause. Let the energy just sort of cascade down through the body that we've begun to create. Notice how you feel a little differently from where we began. Notice the rooting through the heels, notice the reaching through the crown. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And let's let that go, kind of shake it out. All right, so that was one full cycle, kind of different, a little something that we don't normally do. We're usually doing that front to back, up and down. So it's kind of a nice, just calming, a little slower. All right, so we're gonna do another cycle. We'll add on some other different things and we'll just work from this side back to the other side. So depending on where your blocks ended up, kind of get those set up. All right. Take a moment here, get yourself set up. Look down at the toes, spread them nice and wide, firm foundation. Root down through those heels. We begin in mountain pose. Roll those shoulders up and back. Extend those fingertips down. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's inhale those arms up overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. Gentle back bend. Push those hips forward. We'll take it back up to center. Let's interlace the palms and go ahead and press those fingers up towards the sky. So press the palms away. Deep breath in. As we exhale, let's reach towards the outside of the mat. Press those palms away as you draw the breath in. Let's take that back up to center. Inhale here. Exhale, press towards the center of the mat. Let's take a deep inhale. As we exhale, just draw the palms all the way down and back up around. So that big circular motion. Inhale. Exhale, take it down the other way. One more big inhale. Exhale, step it nice and wide. Take that back bend. Open up, big full moon. Big breath in. Big breath out. Bring the palms together. Take it back to our goddess pose. So toes go out, heels go in. And let's play around here with some eagle arms. So let's extend that left arm out in front of you. Take that other arm and wrap it underneath. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, sink down. You can wiggle a little bit side to side here. You can play around with inhaling and straightening the legs. Take a big sip of air. Exhale, sink. So you got like two different things going on, right? You're sinking down through the tail, reaching up through the crown. You can draw the fingertips up and then sink those elbows down. What's rooting, what's reaching? All right, let's let that go. Let's inhale back up. Exhale, we're gonna turn over to the side. We're gonna set ourselves up for pyramid pose. So we want both feet facing forward. We don't wanna be on the tightrope, so make sure your feet are at least hip width distance apart or more. And then we're gonna inhale, lift up through the crown. Exhale, begin to hinge at the hips. Keep that front leg straight. And then begin to fold in. If you need to rebalance your feet, you're starting to wobble, you can have your blocks alongside you as well. We're getting a nice stretch and that hamstring on the front leg. You can also walk that back foot in a little bit if you need to. If you want a little bit more, you can bring those elbows or reach for the opposite elbows. You can bring your palms to prayer position. Sink back in. Play around with whatever feels good this morning. And stay for one more breath cycle. Exhale, let's let that go. We'll work our way back up. Bend that front knee and then open that back leg up, and we're gonna set ourselves up for warrior two. So we got a heel to arch alignment here. Keep those shoulders nice and open. So roll the shoulders open as you reach out front to back. Get yourself kind of set up. Make sure that front knee is over that ankle, and then go ahead and sink down. Just take a moment here. Just notice how you feel. Pull up through that pelvic floor as you sink down a little deeper. Begin to reach that backhand down the back of the leg. Inhale that front arm up and over. We'll reverse that warrior. Sink into that front knee a little bit more. I like to kind of bring that hand back around to open that chest up. You can even reach for that front thigh if you can get to it. Breathe into that front side of the rib cage. Big breath in. Big breath out. We'll gently let that go. Drop back down to that knee. We'll take it into that low lunge again. Set that foundation up. This time we'll bring palms to heart center. Take a deep breath in. And options, you can take a little bit of a lower twist so you can reach forward and bring that elbow across. If that's a little too much, you can take the arms up and stay up nice and high here in your twist. Whatever feels good this morning. Not trying to work too hard, build too much heat. Just opening up. If you're in your twist, go ahead and gently come up out of it. We'll place those palms down. We'll pop that back knee up. We'll work our way back to the center. Let's pause here as we take a halfway lift. Big inhale. Shoot that crown of the head forward. Exhale, let everything go. Draw that head down towards the mat. You can walk those hands back through the legs, creating a little bit more space. Breathe into the backside of the body deeply. Let's let that go. We'll go ahead and walk the palms back around. We'll drop back into that low lunge, second side. Get that foundation nice and strong. Work from that ground up. Inhale, palms up. Draw them into the heart space. Take that twist on the second side, same as you did on the other side to kind of balance things out. So reaching forward, draw the elbow across, and then use that leverage to sort of open up through the chest. So we don't want to be dropped down. So if you have a hard time opening up through the chest on this, again, you can be up here, open up here. All right, let's stay for one more breath cycle. Big inhalation. Big exhalation. Let's gently let that go. Go ahead and place the palms down. We'll pop that back knee up and we'll drop that back heel. Take your time. Open up to warrior two, second side. Check that heel to arch alignment. Again, I like to sort of open up the shoulders first in warrior two. Reach a little side to side, front to back. Then exhale, sink in. Actively drawing up through the pelvic floor, that energy, squeezing those thighs slightly together as you sink down. Slide that back hand down the back of the leg. Take that front arm up and over. Reverse your warrior. Sink into that front knee a little deeper. Big breath into the front side of that rib cage. Get into those crevices that we don't normally get the breath into. Massage the body from the inside out. All right, take your time. Begin to sort of unwind on that. So we're just gonna swivel the body. There's no graceful way to do this. We're gonna just kind of turn the feet, get yourself set up for that pyramid pose on the second side. So feet are hip width distance apart. Make sure you're not on that tightrope. Those blocks can be out in front of you if you need them. Inhale here. Exhale, begin to hinge forward at the hips. Reach forward with that crown. And then begin to fold in. Take whatever arm variation you like. You can be down on those blocks for support. You can bring them to the sacrum. Reach for those elbows, reverse prayer position, whatever feels good this morning. Those big toes are our anchors here. So as you're shaking, a little wobbly, just press firmly down through those big toes. Feel that connection with the earth. And let that breath balance out the rooting and the reaching. All right, let's go ahead and release that front leg. Go ahead and turn back towards the center here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold in one more time. Let's just do a gentle twist here. So let's just place that left hand sort of in front of the face. And then peel that arm back up, that arm across the chest, and just open up, stacking the shoulders. You should feel nice and open at this point. Notice if you're holding any tension in the face, or the jaw, the throat. See if you can let that go. And then just take your time and we'll switch hands. Place that foundation down. Inhale, peel the bow back and up. Open up. Some circles with that wrist. Take your time. Go ahead and place that back down. And we're working our way back into our goddess pose. So kind of heel toe your feet back in. Go ahead and draw up, root down. Inhale up, sink down. Go ahead and reach the opposite arm out that you did earlier. Kind of forget which one was which, but you'll know it because it'll feel weird. Inhale up, draw up through the elbows. Exhale, sink down. A little wiggle side to side. Close the eyes. Feel the root, feel the reach, feel the breath. All right, let's inhale, straighten those legs. Turn the toes back to center and the heels open up a little bit. One more big full moon. Push those hips forward. Draw that into the heart. Palms back together. Step on over to where we started. Inhale up. Interlace those fingers, press them back up. And reach out to the outer edge of the mat. Press those fingers away. Deep breath in. Exhale. Let's take that big circle down and around. Inhale up. Exhale towards the center. Big sip of air. Exhale. Full circle. Release the bind there. And we'll take that last back bend. Push those hips forward. Reach it back. Take your time. Draw those palms in towards the heart center. Big inhalation. Exhale, let the palms fall out to the sides. Reach down through those fingers. Ending in that mountain pose. Take a moment here to notice. Let that energy cascade down through the body like a waterfall. From the top of your head, rolling over your throat, softening the heart, the belly, down through the legs, back into the earth. We'll blink the eyes open. Let's take a moment, shake that out. How's everybody doing? Good, good, good. I was losing track of time. I could just keep doing those all day. Aren't those fun? Just kind of side to side, back and forth, the same thing. You don't have to think too much. It's great. All right, so let's see where we are. Let's go ahead. Let's take it down to our stomach. We'll work through some back bends here to begin to wind our practice down a little bit. I'll turn this way. All right. Just take a moment here to get yourself situated. Just kind of rock back and forth on those hips. You can tap the tops of the feet. Just let that grounding energy start to settle back down into the earth here. And let's just go ahead and make a pillow here with stacking one hand on top of the other and turning one cheek to one side. Let's just pause here. Take a few deep breaths in. You can really feel it when you're have your chest and your belly against the earth, feeling the back side of your body rise and fall. Just feel that connection to the earth, safety and support. And as you exhale, just let everything melt into the earth. Let the bones feel heavy. And as you inhale, just let everything lighten up a little bit. All right. Let's go ahead and bring the head to the center of the mat, and then just bring the palms alongside the body, face up. So we're going to roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and we're going to begin to sort of come into a locust pose. So beginning to lift up through the chest, we're going to reach those fingertips back along the thighs. Engage your thighs like you were squeezing a block between them. So squeeze the legs together, getting a nice back bend. So you should start to feel this in the low back. If you feel any pinching or anything, go ahead and back off. Take a big sip of air in. Exhale, go ahead and bring palms back to center and take that gaze to the opposite side you were before. So just take that cheek to the other side. Check in with the breath. Feel that rise and fall of the rib cage. Feel the expansion of the back side of the body. Take one more breath in here. And let's let that go. All right. Take our gaze back to center. We'll take those arms back where we just had them. So shoot those fingertips down alongside the legs. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Lift up through that chest. Squeeze those legs, and maybe you let the legs float up. So reaching fingertips back, squeeze those thighs together. Feel that lower back engage. A little shaking is good. Inhale here. Exhale, let all that go. Drop your head back down. Go ahead and bend the knees here. So bring the feet up and just let them gently sway side to side, releasing that low back a little bit. All right, let's let that go. Let's take a moment here and just slide elbows forward, coming into Sphinx pose. So just rock back and forth on those hips a little bit. Check in with that belly, that it's not just falling into the mat. You're not sinking into that shoulders. So we want to be up out of that shoulders. Belly button's pulled up off the mat. You're drawing that heart space through the shoulders. So press down, kind of slide your chest forward as much as possible. Deep inhale here. Exhale, let's go ahead and look over one shoulder. Take it back to center, inhale. Other side. Back to center. And we'll go ahead and take it back down. So let's take it into a bow pose here. So go ahead and bend those legs. Reach back for those heels, or shins. And then take a moment here, just kind of wiggle back and forth on the hips. And set yourself up by rolling those shoulders up, back, and down before you really pull yourself up. So press down into the hips. Squeeze those knees together so they're active. And then begin to draw your chest up. And squeeze those thighs together as if you had a block in between them. So you're feeling that in the low back. Take another sip of air, come up a little bit more. Deep inhale here. Hold for one more second. Exhale, let all that go. We'll push ourselves all the way back, coming into a child's pose. Counter pose to those back bends. Let those toes come together. Let those knees go nice and wide. And that's going to feel really nice. Take a moment here. Work those hips back towards the heels. As you walk those fingertips forward, create some space in that chest. You can tent those fingers a little bit. So you sink down through the heart, melt down through the front of the body as you drop the torso in between those hips. Just actively drawing those hips back towards those heels. Breathe into that low back. All right, let's take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, begin to walk yourself back up. And we'll just swing those legs around to the front. We'll take it all the way back down to the back. You can have your block nearby. We're just going to work through a little bridge series here. Today might be a good day for some supported bridge as we're just working a little bit slower in our practice today. Take a moment here to get yourself set up. Kind of draw those heels back in towards the glutes as much as possible. And then go ahead and make sure you're not bunched up through the shoulders, so nice and flat through the back. Firm foundation here. And then go ahead and place those palms down towards the earth, forearms are down. Take a big inhale and lift up through those hips. So tuck that tailbone in, opening up through the front of the body. So as we work into our back bends, really consciously opening up through the front of the body to get a little deeper in that back bend. So squeeze those thighs together. Push those hips forward and that tail is tucked. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, we'll go ahead and lower down. This time, if you want to add the arms on, you can go ahead and inhale, lift the arms up overhead, squeeze those thighs together. So open up through the chest, open up through the hips. Squeeze those thighs, deep inhale. Exhale, lower the hips, lower the arms. If you want to get into a supported bridge, which I just absolutely love, go ahead and lift up through those hips and then bring your block to whatever degree is comfortable right underneath that sacrum. So right above the tailbone, gives you that nice firm foundation. And if you have that block, you can kind of play around with now having that stability, maybe lifting up through one foot, flexing and pointing. If you're not in supported bridge, you can just continue with that same motion that we were doing before, taking it up and down. If you have a shoulder stand in your practice and you'd like to get into that, doing a little bit more inversion before we totally wind down, go for it. If you're on the block, I like to sort of do this as well, where you just walk heels all the way out and point the toes down. So stretch to the top of the feet and you get a nice stretch to that low back. If you feel any pinching at all in any one of these poses, immediately that's your cue to back off. Pulling and stretching is good. Pinching, definitely don't want that. No crunching, no pinching. All right, wherever you are in that bridge series, go ahead and finish yourself up. We'll do a counter pose by drawing those knees in towards the heart. So thighs in towards those ribs. Draw down through that tailbone. Just rock yourself a little side to side. Massage that low back. All right, let's take ourselves through a twist. So we'll keep that right knee hugged in towards the ribs there. Extend that left leg long. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, we'll draw that knee across the body and reach the arms out to a T. We want those shoulder blades firmly against the mat, anchoring us down. On your inhale, fill up and release the twist a little bit. On your exhale, sink in and twist a little deeper. If you're feeling good there, you can draw your gaze away from that knee, adding on a little deeper to the twist. All right, let's stay for one more breath cycle here. Let that go. Gently unwind. Take both knees back up into the chest, get ourselves centered. Draw down through that tail. Squeeze those knees in. Extend the opposite leg nice and long. Big inhale. As you exhale, draw that knee across the body. And open the arms up out to a T. Adding the gaze if you want a little deeper twist. Just continue to stay with your breath for these few final moments. Anything popping into your head can wait. It'll be there for you when you get off the mat. Just stay with this. Stay with your intention. Stay with that moment of self-care, self-exploration, and reflection. All right, let's take one final breath in here. Gently begin to unwind yourself. Take one last Balasana, happy baby. So let those knees go nice and wide. Send those heels up to the sky. Reach for those outer edges of the feet. Or you can grab for the big toes with those peace fingers and then draw those knees down towards the armpits. Work your tailbone down. And then a gentle rock side to side. All right, one final pose before Savasana. Go ahead and let's just take one big full moon sort of against the earth. So Starfish Pose. Send those heels out nice and wide. Flex and open those feet towards us. So draw the toes towards the kneecaps. Shoot those fingertips out nice and wide. Take up some space on the earth. Picture that big, beautiful full moon. Draw into that calming, meditative, yin, feminine energy. Fill up the heart space. Exhale, just let everything go. You can bring the heels in just a little bit closer together, and then just let those feet open up like a book. So let the ankles open up. Let that opening come up through the thighs and through the hips. So fingertips are nice and wide, palms face up towards the sky. Nothing left to do here except just kind of be in this moment. Enjoy the benefits of our practice. Enjoy the yoga buzz, as I like to call it. And just take some time here to notice how the body feels different from where we started. Maybe you were running to get here, you were dealing with some to-dos or some stresses or thoughts of the day. Just notice how the mind is a little calmer, a little quieter. Notice any tension that you had in the body. See if you can release any last bits you might be holding on to, maybe in the face. Soften the eyes. Soften the jaw. Place the tongue towards the roof of the mouth, towards the back of the front teeth. Soften through the throat. Let your heartbeat just settle into the chest. Soften through the heart space and down into the belly. Just keep with a nice, gentle rhythm of your breath as you feel this relaxation going down into the hips, the pelvis, down into the thighs, through the kneecaps. Soften all the way down to the tips of your toes. Just be here for a few final moments of reflection. And allow me to call you back in a few moments when it's time. If thoughts are popping up in your head, just return to that connection with the breath. All right, let's begin to deepen the breath here. Just begin to welcome sensation back into the body by wiggling fingers and toes. Taking notice of your surroundings, the temperature on your skin, the sound of your breath, or anything else around you. Just taking a few final moments to really be immersed in this moment. Conscious observation, or always being the doer. And here we can just relax and be the observer. Take a few deep breaths. We'll reach those arms back up overhead. Go ahead and slide those ankles close together. Take a full body stretch here. Big inhale. As we exhale, begin to draw those knees back into the heart space. Squeeze those knees in. Draw down through that tailbone. And then as you exhale, gently make your way up to a seated position. So you can roll off to one side and pause there if you want. As you come up into that seated position, keep that gaze soft or keep those eyes closed. Legs can be crossed, out in front of you, whatever feels good. All right, let's just take a moment here. A few final moments of that observation. Notice that grounding through your tailbone. Notice the earth supporting and holding you up. Notice that nice lengthening long spine as that crown reaches up towards the sky. Notice the opening in the heart. Let's inhale those arms up overhead. Lift up, look up. Go ahead and place those heels of the palms together, and then go ahead and keep the thumbs and pinky fingers together and open up, making that lotus flower or cup. Picture that bright, beautiful full moon placed right inside that cup. Draw that energy into your heart space. Close those fingers. Sealing the pose, sealing the salutation, Chandra Namaskar, moon salutation. Take a moment here and just thank yourself for taking some moment for self-care, for some compassion, and courage, and contentment. Leaving behind those feelings of fear, judgment, and desire. From my heart to yours, I'd like to thank everyone joining today here at the park on Zoom. I'd like to offer just a salutation of light and love to each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you.